Hello everyone, my name is Frances and welcome to my channel. So I'm fairly new in the world of like YouTube and art business stuff. So just like a quick intro about myself. I started my art business probably like a year ago. I do pastel illustrations of sort of creatures, of like nature. So I do it in a sort of like a fantasy style theme. So I like to do wolves and foxes and unicorns. I like to incorporate like moths and mushrooms and things like that into my artwork. And I sort of went full time last year in October. Before then I was kind of like working in it a little bit kind of part time, just trying to fit stuff around like work, but within the last sort of 6 months I've sort of gone full time with it. So I am trying to sort of like obviously grow my audience, to get my work, my artwork out there, and just sort of like slowly grow and build up my business. And at the moment I'm working on a launch that I've got planned for early June. So over this coming month, so May, we're at the start of May, I am in the process of ordering products. So I've got notepads coming, I've got magnetic bookmarks, I've got stickers, I've got t-shirts. I'm also going to do some book sleeves and like Kindle sleeves. That's something I have to make on the sewing machine. And if you hear any background noise, my neighbours are both home and they're making noise. So I didn't know what to film. So normally I try to sort of like kind of film what I'm doing. I don't really have too much. I'm doing a lot of illustrations because obviously my business is like really new and it's just starting. I'm not getting like loads of orders. I'm not ordering like loads of stuff in. So, but this past couple of weeks, I haven't actually been doing any illustrations or any actual artwork. I've been working on designing some notepads. So I've got A6 notepads and I've also got some weekly planners as well, like one weekly planner. The other thing that I need to do as well, is I keep forgetting, is that I wanted to get some photography lamps in as well. So with this like new business, I'm obviously slowly growing and I'm just sort of trying to improve things. So one of my things I like to do is upgrade my sort of photography setup. So at the moment, all I'm doing is I'm just photographing stuff here, like in the window, which is not ideal because I'm just relying on like the sunlight. And I would like to retake all of my photos, all of my current products that are up on my shop at the moment. When they're all sort of like all together up on the website, I can just kind of see like, oh, like the lighting, and they're not all consistent, and it just really bothers me. And I want it all to be like on the same background, all the same kind of lighting. And so that's kind of like my plan for the next month. And also with like new products coming, I want to obviously take like really nice photos. So I'm going to have a look at getting some like box lamps. I don't know what they're called, like the square box lamps. I don't know, I've forgotten what they're called. And like a backdrop as well. So yes, that's something that I need to look into. And also just sort of slowly getting or like ordering products. I've just ordered 2 new wooden pins. So at the moment on my shop I've got 2 pins. I've got like a mushroom pin and a owl moth pin, and I'm going to have so I've ordered the fox pin and the fairy toad pin. I was thinking, because I haven't really filmed much this past sort of week, I've just literally been sat on my iPad just like designing like notepads. It hasn't been very interesting. I thought I might do like a little tour, like boat tour. So I live on a narrowboat with my husband and our dog Child, and I just thought it might be interesting. Maybe like, you know, you're nosy people like I am. I always like it when I watch people like give tours of their houses and stuff. Yeah, just to sort of like give you an idea of like where I live, and also like the restrictions, because what I'm finding at the moment is that I have very, very limited space on where I can have products to. I don't really know like where I'm going to put these new products that I'm getting in. I'm getting like a whole load of notepads, and I'm just like, they're just like, I'll just shove them somewhere. I don't know, but yeah. But anyway, let's go on the tour. So this is the front of the boat. They've got 2 doors in front. That's the entranceway. That's where we all come in and out. We are in desperate need of getting some new front doors, so that is on our to-do list at some point, because they are rotten. Every time it rains, it leaks. They're not great. So in the corner, we've got the computer. That's where I do a bit of my sort of work, editing and stuff. Air conditioner, the white thing, and the fan, definitely needed right now. It gets very, very hot on the boat. It's a bit like sort of being in a hot car. It's not ideal. Wood burner in the corner. So that's the only source of heat for us in the winter. The sofa. This is actually Archie's sofa. This is where he likes to lay down most of the time. He does have a bed, which again, he needs a new bed. That is on my to-do list. I'm going to make him one because he needs like a special sized bed. And this is the kitchen and my workspace. So a narrowboat, it's very narrow. It's probably about, I don't know, a bit bigger than 6 foot across. So obviously when I sort of say to you guys like, I'm literally 2 inches away from the kitchen, I am literally 2 inches away from the kitchen. So kitchen, again, we are planning on getting a new sort of kitchen, like new cooker, new worktop, new sink. But yeah, this is all my work desk. This is my easel, my chair. Under here is where I keep all of my art supplies, and also my products that I have at the moment. So I've got all my artwork and my pastel matte paper that I use, and there's some of my products. So notepads. I need to get some more like compostable sleeves. Keychains. My toad and my mushroom in there. So stickers. Oh yeah, so I've got earrings. I've got prints in here. I've got stickers. I've got my wooden pins. So my mushroom and my owl moth. So I've got them in there. And then sort of packing stuff, paper. I think I've got extra stuff in there. More artwork, I've got some books in there which I use for like props. So I've got this like really nice Aesop's Fable book that I use as like a little prop. It's really nice. So I've got that in there. These drawers they're okay. They're a bit shallow. Get in there. Yeah, more packing supplies and things. Oh god. And then I don't know, artwork supplies I think in there. Anyway, they're pretty much full. I have gone through them and sort of decluttered them. And then Oh, this is like a little test print of like my weekly planner. I was just testing out different sizes, but I think I might change the little character. This is like my fairy toad. I was thinking I might change him out for like a little different character. I think I'll just explain things a little bit later, but and then the rest of my desk, this is kind of this part here just gets used for anything and everything. So if I got my printer will go here. I just swap it out for things if I'm sort of doing any ironing, like sewing, just stuff just kind of gets moved around. At the moment I've got some framed artwork, so I was hoping to sort of like list these and sell these. So these are watercolor pieces that I did like years ago of like unicorns, but they're framed, they're ready to hang. I thought it'd be nice to sort of sell them, list them up on the shop and sell them. This is like my little gallery wall. The pictures do keep falling down, but yeah, I've got one of my pictures up on the wall there. I got my birdhouses because they're beautiful. I got my dead butterflies. I'd love to have more. I want more dead butterflies. I would love to have like one of those cabinet of curios that are just filled with like fossils and bones and just interesting things. I'd love to have that, but I just don't think I've got the room for that. Yeah, so I've got all my pastel pencils, so that's what I use for all my illustrations. I use pastel. Notebooks and things, and then I've got my plants. This is the rest of the kitchen. I've had to pull the blinds down because it's just that really overcast kind of day where it's just very bright out. So yeah, so this is all the kitchen, sink, oven. Not very interesting, but yeah, we go around the corner, the narrow corridor, bathroom to the right. So you don't need to see that, it's not very interesting. You'll take note of the interesting carpet choice. That is the original carpet to the boat, and then we have like a living rug on the floor. This is the Archie boy. So this thing here is the bed. It folds away, so I just push it to one side every day just so that Archie can lie down and stretch his feet out. But yeah, so this end of the boat definitely needs painting. We're going to sort of like get rid of this all of this horrible, very dated carpet. I've got the blind shut at the moment because my neighbour next door is busy doing stuff. He's doing a lot of like DIY in his boat, so I don't really want him sort of walking past and seeing me talking, what appears to be talking to myself, even though I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, and that's the back end of the boat, and that's where the engine bay is, through there. So our engine at the moment is not currently working, so we do need to sort that out. But yeah, that's the other end. Wardrobe is that place there. We've got like an old, it's not very interesting, I don't know what I'm telling you guys, an old heater in the corner. Let me open the curtains up a little bit. I'm going to blind you. Okay. Yeah, there's like an old diesel heater that needs going. But yeah, we had when we moved in the boat, there was like matching curtains of this pattern. It's very, very 80s. So yeah, all the curtains I made myself, sewed them myself. Just bought the fabric from like a fabric shop. So yeah, so that's the whole of the boat. We'll go back down the narrow corridor to the other end. So you can kind of see like how big it is, and you know, the kind of space that we got. But yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little tour. If you've got like any questions or anything about boat life, we don't actually take our boat out anywhere. Well, our engine at the moment it's fine. It needs a bit of a service, but the starter battery is completely flat, which is the second time that's happened. That's just because we don't start the engine up at all. But we live in a marina, so pretty much most of the people that live here are all like full time. They live here permanently. Yeah, I think I think it'd just be difficult for us if we did live permanently out on the canal. If you're out in the canal, you have to keep moving, like every couple of weeks you have to move your boat, and if you've got like a job or something, it can be quite difficult. I think just like the logistics of it, like if you've got a car, you have to figure out where to park your car to, like I think for some people it will be okay, but I think for me, I would just be stressed all the time. I think with it, I think it'd just be an added stress. And yeah, and being here in the marina, like you know everybody, you know your neighbours, everyone like looks out for each other. Like you don't have to worry about like security or anything. I've got, if I need someone, like if I leave Archie on his own or something, he'll be fine. I've got neighbours who could look after him or take him out if needs to be, and I wouldn't be able to do that if we were out on the canal. So, but yeah, I think for now it works for us. But I think if we didn't work or anything, I think we might do it, because it obviously is a lot cheaper to live out on the canal. But yeah, so I thought I might kind of talk about this upcoming launch that I've got planned. I've been sort of working on some illustrations. I kind of originally was going for like a bookish themed launch, and I think what I wanted was kind of like bookish themed characters or like creatures, like illustrations, and sort of like products as well. Kind of hasn't really exactly turned out like that. I think I don't always like trying to force myself to do a particular illustration, try and fit it in. I like to do things a bit more organically. So usually there might be like an animal that I want to draw, say like a fox for example. They're kind of like one of my favourite animals to draw. And then I just sort of like gather things that I want to incorporate into it. I find that if I have like, sometimes it helps, but sometimes it doesn't. If I kind of feel like I'm restricting myself a little bit. And also I wanted to bring out some like regular bookmarks as well, and I would love to do some washi tape. I know that's like a really good seller for people, and that is something that I myself I use a lot. But I was looking into it, getting some washi tape made, and I just think it would be really, really difficult, because if you've made washi tape before, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I would use my illustrations on the actual washi tape. So I would design things, draw things out like regular size, like yay big, and then put those onto the washi tape. So far what I've seen is that the washi tape kind of has to be the design has to be the same size as the actual washi tape. I don't have Photoshop or anything. I just use Procreate. Unfortunately with Procreate, when you change the size, like shrink down or enlarge an image, it doesn't retain the pixels, so it goes all pixelated and stuff. So if I shrink down my artwork into a small size, it loses all of its sharpness, so it goes all horrible and pixelated. I know on Photoshop it doesn't do that. So I think if I wanted to do that, I would have to. The other thing is that our computer isn't able to have Photoshop. It has no storage left on it, and also it's struggling, to be honest. It's quite an old computer, and it wouldn't be able to. It's not able to update anything that I've got on it at the moment. So we would either have to get a new computer or maybe get a laptop before that. So there's a few steps before I could go down the route of making washi tape. And the same is well for bookmarks as well. I have made one bookmark, but it was a real difficulty getting it done because it was in a big. It was big size, but when the company that makes the bookmarks shrunk it down, it didn't fit the actual bookmarks size, so they had to like do some Photoshop editing. I don't know what they did, and it was a bit of just a struggle for like both of us really to try and get it sorted. I'm gonna go and put the fan on and get a drink because I am absolutely sweating hot right now. Okay. I can see myself on the little screen that my face is getting really hot and I'm getting really sweaty. Probably because I'm talking and it's making me get out of breath. Yesterday the past couple of days I've been making some notepads. I've been flitting sort of back and forth between sort of Procreate and Canva to sort of design them. And yesterday I planned on actually ordering them all, so I'm also getting some product stickers made and also backing cards for the pins as well from the company that I'm getting them from. I made a list, like a product list, of just sort of like the illustrations that I've got made and also what I'm getting made and where I'm getting them made to, and also the cost as well of them, if that makes sense. So there's 4 illustrations, and yeah, so I was working on them yesterday, and I do that thing where I really take my time over something before I make a final decision, and it's always a case of, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I 100% sure on this? Because getting this stuff made is quite expensive, and I want to be sure that what I'm doing is the right thing, which sometimes you don't always know what the right thing is. But I think because, one, it is quite expensive to get stuff made. I've definitely noticed like the cost of things has gone up, and also I am limited on space as well. I think what I want to do is just kind of review my notepad designs. So what I want, I think I want like a choice of designs, if that makes sense. I'll show you, rather than sort of like me trying to explain stuff, which is difficult at the best of times, I just like show you. My fairy toad, I did sort of 4 different colour variants. I can put them actually up here, wherever around my head. There's a bit of a gap here, I can put them up here. So I did 4 different colour variants, and I did put a post up on Instagram sort of asking people like what colours they preferred. I think I had like 2 people respond, and I was like, okay. So I had kind of planned on doing 3 colour variants, But then I was thinking, do I need 3 coloured variants of like the fairy toad? How popular would a fairy toad be? I don't really know. Do people like toads? I love toads. I think they're adorably cute. But I think if I'm going to do like these coloured variants, could I perhaps put like on a different character? Because I know that my owl moth character, I'm calling them characters, they're little creatures. I know that my owl moth creature is popular, and it would be silly not to put that little creature on my notepads, because at the moment he's not featured on any of my notepads. So I was thinking of just like maybe swapping out the fairy toad for like another character, creature. I've done so the fox, the midnight fox, or the midnight guardian, I'm calling him. I've done a notepad variant or version of that one without the little fox. But I was thinking, this is the thing that goes on in my head when I'm doing stuff. It's just like someone chatting in my ear, basically, about what about this, what about this, what about this kind of thing. This is why it takes me about 1,000,000 years to make any decision or anything, because I've just have this internal voice chatting away to me about, well, you could do this and this, but what about this? And yeah, anyway, yeah, and now I'm just telling you guys about it so you can like listen to my own thoughts. So I was thinking, what about if I included that fox on a notepad design? So I think I'm just trying out all of these different options before I sort of make the final decision, because I want it to be right. I want it to be like 100% yes. And also I want to give people more choice. Like, it doesn't make sense to put like 3 different, like the fairy toad notepad, it doesn't make sense to put like 3 different colours of the same thing. Yeah, I'm just trying to think logically. When we think of Spock, be more like Spock. I'm just trying to think what the right thing to do is. And also I think because I am new as well, I don't have like an established audience. I don't have like, like a big audience that I can kind of get feedback from. That's the thing that I'm really struggling with at the moment, is that I'm getting like very little feedback from people, because I'm new, no one really knows about me. So it feels sometimes that I'm just kind of stumbling around in the dark at times, just sort of like, is this the right thing to do? I don't know. Do people like this? I don't know. Like, it's just a bit like that at the moment. Yeah, so I printed off this yesterday on my printer. It's not a fancy printer, by the way. I just wanted to see what my weekly planner would look like as an A4 size, is what I got planned, or like an A5 size, definitely A4, I think. And then I was thinking, I'm using this fairy toad creature like to death, like the illustration. I do really like it. That's why I'm using it a lot. But I don't, that's the thing, like, you might like something, but then other people, the majority of people might not. And I just think, because this is probably like one of my most expensive things that I'm going to get made, I'd rather put like something on there that the majority of people are going to like. So I'm not in any hurry. I think it's Thursday today, isn't it? So this vlog that you're seeing right now will be up on the Monday, and normally I edit my vlogs over the weekend, but Gavin is off this weekend, and we have plans on making a start with painting the roof of our boat, because it's getting very, very rusty, and it really needs doing. So I was thinking about editing this tomorrow and getting all kind of scheduled for Monday. The other thing as well is that I am back at work now, so I work in the evenings during the week. So I'm working tonight as well. I'm always worried I'm going to like forget as well. I'm like, oh God, I've got to go work. Tomorrow I edit this, and I think I might just do what I was saying before with the notepads and just try some different variants and sort of make a decision. I did my newsletter, which looks really nice, by the way, and I've sent it again. I've only got a couple of people who have signed up to the newsletter, which you can do up on the Shopify store. There's like a pop-up, and you just sort of enter your email address if you wanted to sort of get any newsletters from me. So I sent that off not that long ago with the fairy toad notepads. They're all sort of like mock-up designs anyway, so. But I am getting my t-shirts made with a print-on-demand company. I might have a look at other things that I could do with the print-on-demand as well. I realise this is a very chatty vlog, but I don't have any. I haven't been working on any illustrations yet, but if you've made it this far, put in, some people do this, like put in like a little emoji at the end of the vlog to see like if you've watched to the end of the video. Put in like a little fox emoji or a toad or like a little animal or something. You can choose what animal you want. A little animal emoji. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll be getting some products in the next couple of weeks and I can show you. And yeah, if you want to follow along to my YouTube and Instagram, I'll put my details down below. I don't have links yet, unfortunately, to my socials or anything, or my shop. YouTube is still not letting me do that at the moment. But anyway, I will put my shop and socials down the bottom. That's a thing flying around. And I hopefully see you guys in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, everyone.